right? Shalom, Akim, starts the lesson. Doing to give all praise and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakak, Kodash. Double honor to our apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us his truth. Peace and blessing to the sincere Akims that's pushing this truth. And all truth and sincerity are on the four corners of the earth that you lead to. I say Shalom. Akim, the brother Yirah Ariyah from the Great Millstone Miami camp. I come back to the spirit power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai to make another lesson. And in this lesson, I'll be going into, the destruction of the Lord, understanding the wrath that the Lord, Yahweh Shai, is going to bring. Because, we was at fellowship and, Elder Lawyer Cap, he was going into that. And, we really have to read these words and really take our time and really understand what the scriptures are saying. Okay, because when you really think about it, man, the Lord is coming back to judge the earth. All right, the Lord is coming back to put death on the earth, man. It's not going to be something it's going to be something that has never happened before. Well, I ain't gonna say never happened before, but it's going to be something that the world has never seen before. Is what I'm trying to say. Okay, the Lord is leaving the heavens to come and judge this place, man. Okay, when you sit back and really analyze it and really think about it and meditate on it, it's gonna be a very dreadful day, man. When you think about the destruction, the nukes, the Lord, the chariots, the laser beams, the pestilence, the famine, the earthquakes, the tsunamis, all these things that the Lord is going to do to America, man. Okay, and and ultimately the whole earth. But when you sit here and really meditate on it, it's gonna be a crazy thing, man. All right, and and it would behoove you to seek the Lord too, because people tend to read they tend to read the flood like it's just a bedtime story. The flood was something, the flood was obviously, the first death. Okay, and that was something grievous in itself too as well. All right, you have to understand how, it never rained before. Okay, because guess why? The earth was watered by the dew. Okay, whoever was outside and it didn't rain, but the grass was wet. I remember growing up as a kid, going to school. I used to go to school and I'm like, damn, it didn't rain, but the grass is wet. Okay, and that's how the Lord used to, used to water the earth. Okay, so now when a prophet of the Lord comes saying, it's going to rain, people tend to be in disbelief. And just like now, people are tended to be in a mindset of disbelief because these things have never happened to them before. Okay, losing things, major famine, major pestilence in front of their face. These people have never experienced something like that. They live in a state of comfortability. So once certain resources tend to start to not, acquaint them anymore. Okay, once certain resources, are not available to them, people are going to bug out. Okay, and they just gonna be a sheep to the slaughter. Okay, and that's why us as men of the Lord, we are giving, the people the warning. All right, we giving the people the warning of, from the Lord. All right, and that's why I got this precept here. This is Ezekiel 3 and verse 17, and it says, "Son of man, I've made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel." That's right, man. Okay, understand that we are watchmen, prophets. Okay, seers. To say before, that's what we are put on this planet, on this earth to do, man. It's to, it's to prophesy and to tell the impending danger from the nation of Israel and to these other nations. All right. It says, "Therefore, hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me." All right. We giving warning from Yah about Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Scripture say that I will not meet thee as a man. Okay, so you have to really grasp and understand how the Lord is really gonna come back, man. All right, Scripture say, Lord not gonna meet you as a man. Who is that dyed garments from Basra? Okay, it's gonna be a lot of bloodshed. Okay, and we give you out a warning from that. Okay, because you don't want to partake of that side. All right, you want to be on a part of history where you didn't fall to the, to the temptation. You didn't acquaint yourself with this world, man. Right, because when our elder lawyer, was really, really sucked with me because I was sitting there, he was going to how, brothers got to really just meditate on the destruction that's coming to this place, because it's really, it's something that has never been experienced before, man, ever. All right, and how the Lord is coming is going to be, astronomical, man. It's going to be crazy. You're going to have the fathership and then the many UFOs following. Okay, it's going to cover the whole earth. It's going to be dark in that day. All right, it's going to be a lot of bloodshed. Okay, it's going to be like a time like never before. And that's what we're warning the people from. Okay, and that's why if you choose to just sit and enjoy your life and try to, enjoy your riches, all right, you're going to be so confounded because people don't understand, the level of destruction that's going to happen to this place because, being a Christianity don't speak about this. Okay, they just classify it as a lake of fire, or you're going to go to hell, you can just burn under the ground. No. Okay, that lake of fire going into, that fire from the ICBMs. Okay, that's going to hit this place. That's a lake of fire. Not somewhere under the ground where you just burn in and God is going to tell you, he's going to have a book open for you. And he's going to tell you, yes, you're going to heaven, and no, you're going to hell, and you're going to go straight down on the ground. Understand that hell is the condition, man. We are in hell right now. And ultimately judgment takes place on the face of the earth, man. Okay? It speaks about that. All right, but this is Isaiah 66 verse 15. It says, "For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury, and the rebukes with flames of fire." That's right, man. The Lord's going to render his anger. All right? The scriptures say that, the sins of sins have reached to the heavens, and the Lord hath remembered her and her iniquities. All the things that Esau done did to the nation of Israel, all for the affliction, all these things, the Lord, Lord, remember these things, man. All right, one day to the Lord is, is as 1,000 years. So that was literally yesterday for the Lord. Okay? It says, "For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead." All right, and when you're going to plead, he's going to judge with all flesh. "And the slain of the Lord shall be many." And that's right, man. The slain of the Lord is going to be many, man. You understand that? 2/3 out of the nation of Israel are going to be put to death. That's 66.7% of Israelites, man. It's going to have to die on this side due to the amount of judgment that the Lord is going to do. All right, and that's a lot of bodies, man. All right, this is Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 14. And it says, "The great day of the Lord is near. It is near, and it hastens greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly." All right, all you Navy SEALs, your Delta Force, your Marine, you top of the line men, y'all gonna cry bitterly, man, because this is not something that you have trained for. You can't train against spiritual things. You can't train against demons. You can't train against apparitions. You can't train against newly created creatures that the Lord is gonna bring. All right, you can't train against trying to fight a UFO. It's not gonna work. All right, this is Zephaniah 1 and 15. "That day is the day of the wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet alarm against the fenced cities, against the high towers. I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord. And their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as dung." That's right, man. That's how the judgment of the Lord is going to be. Okay? It says, Zephaniah 1:18, "Neither the silver nor the gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by his fire for his jealousy, for he shall make a speedy riddance of all them that dwell up the land." That's right, man. Neither your riches are going to save you in the day of the Lord, man. Okay, not how much money you had, not the amount of funds you had is going to save you in the day of the Lord, man. All right? And, continuing on, this is, I got it right here. Let's see. This is Malachi chapter 4, verse 1, and it says, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly, shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them nor root nor branch." That's right, man. Going into the destruction of the Lord, man. All right, people don't really understand the destruction and the amount of death that the Lord is really bringing, man. Okay, it's it's gonna be a lot of bodies, man. All right. And yesterday at fellowship, lawyer was, the lawyer was going into that, man, really understanding, all right, the amount of death that the Lord is going to bring, all right, and it's ultimately because 2/3 has been wicked, and Esau has a price to pay, okay, and that's the judgment that the Lord is going to bring upon America, Babylon, okay, in the scriptures, all right, but no one is lesson is edifying, that doing to give all praise and all glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem and Kakadash. That born to our apostles and elders, great meals, one that taught us the truth. Peace and blessings to the sincere Akims. With that, I do want to say Shalom.